Okay, this is Hitman Van Doom bringing another comic book collection video, and this is probably going to be the last one for a little bit because this is the end of my collection. This is just something that I picked up like sometime this week. Fantastic Four, like Future Foundation, actually number 12, and this is continuing that really big story arc of the Fantastic Four that's going on right now. And this is pretty much the kids of the Future Foundation end up getting transferred to Dr. Doom's castle, and Dr. Doom is captured by the alternative Reed Richards. And this may not make much sense to people, but you should just pick up maybe some of the previous issues, or at least look on the internet to see the summary, because it looks like it's going to be really good. And this is Fantastic Four number 600. There's another one I picked up. Now it cost like what, $8, but trust me, it's well worth the $8. It is. It really is worth the $8 you're gonna buy for this, because it's pretty much almost all content. I mean, you buy a comic book for like $2.99 now, and it's like about 5-8 pages that have a bunch of ads in it, and so it's not really like 32 pages, more like 22. But this is almost all content. This has only had 3 things, and it's so good. I mean, and you get to see what happened to you get to see what happened to the Human Torch. I mean, so many superheroes are involved in this story. You get to see Johnny Storm back in action again. It's so much worth the money. All the stories are good. And now we're gonna go back to Iron Man. This is Iron Man 216. And as you can see, Iron Man, Jim Rhodes is in that old Iron Man armor. And this is what happened: is the space shuttle Tony Stark was building, someone sabotaged it. And so this is damaged Jim Rhodes' armor, and he's plummeting to Earth, and he ends up suffering a huge scar. Well, not huge scar, scarred and a few burns, and Tony ends up having to save him. But Tony Stark's interest in space pretty much died here. And this is Iron Man 217. Now this is what happened. This is when we find out what. Oh no! This is not when we find out what really happened. This is Iron Man 217. This is when John Hammer gets involved, and he's back from the Demon in the Bottle story. He gets back involved, and he targets Tony's company. And so, yeah, that's a pretty solid issue, but I want to go back to the last issue because I didn't feel I did it. Anyway, if you remember what I said, Boca Caliente and AIM, well, it turns out that one of his employees, Cly, actually made a deal with him to try and kill Tony because she blamed him for the death of his brother. And I don't know, for some reason I didn't mention this, so that's why I wanted to go back and say a little more about this. It's a very good book, and I like at the end how what ends up doing Cly in is her hatred. Tony does not kill her. Anyway, 218. And this is pretty much another standard issue. This is not the old Iron Man armor. This is just an armor that Tony built to go in the water. And pretty much it's about him going to retrieve a canister from underwater that contains a terrible poison that would like kill hundreds and thousands of people. And the Russians get involved to try to use it for propaganda, but we all know Tony does his best. And this is Iron Man 219. The camera got blurry again. Let me put it a little close. I didn't. Anyway, this is, I think, the first appearance of Ghost. I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, Ghost just comes and just announces that he's trying to sabotage the company. And that's pretty much it. It's a solid issue. And this right here is is Ghost again. Iron Man 220. And interesting about this is this guy right here, Spy Master, ends up dying because of him. Ghost. He can walk through walls, and he ends up pretending like he's gonna save Spy Master, but he leads them to rematerialize in a wall and ends up killing him. So ouch, that's quite a way to go, rematerializing in a wall. And Tony Stark pretty much just goes incredibly paranoid too, because this guy can walk through walls and everything. It's pretty funny to see that. And this is 221. I don't know if this is the official death of Ghost or what, but pretty much, as you can tell, Ghost ends up, well, what's the right word, turning into almost seemingly a pile of goo. And see, Tony Stark again doesn't kill him or doesn't do anything. It's his own hatred, just like Cly that ends up doing Ghost in. And this is a pretty solid issue. This is Iron Man 221. This is Iron Man 222, and this is doesn't have any major storylines, but it's just funny because it has a lot of pop culture references in here. Like, for example, the Refrigerator Perry's in here. He makes an appearance in here. Larry Hagman, and he pokes fun at his at that whole Dallas thing. It was all a dream season. Yeah, so it's pretty funny, but it's nothing major. It's pretty much Tony tries to go to a party, and every time, and he's in the Iron Man armor, and so a bunch of people just stop him one after the other to help him with some sort of crisis. And this is Iron Man 223. Now, this is another solid issue as well. I mean, this is a new villain, or semi-new villain, Force, right there, who pretty much comes back to, well, not to save Tony Stark, but he kind of has a, what's the right word, an epiphany, and decides to go against John Hammer's wishes. I think it's John Hammer, or it's Justin Hammer. Yeah, and so pretty much this is Iron Man trying to help him. And this is the culmination of that. Iron Man 224. This is pretty much the this is the end of him helping Force, and what it turns out ends up happening is Force at the end of getting to the battle, Jim Rhodes, which I was the most impressed, ends up kicking this guy's ass without any power. He ends up, hitting him in the throat with that stick. It was pretty cool. But yeah, and then he ends up getting a secret identity and a happy ending all the way around. So yeah, this is probably going to be a comic collection for a little bit until I could get some more. I do have like 2 other comics that are pretty awesome, and I guess you might consider rare, or quote-unquote rare, or not rare. I don't really know, but I'm holding off on those until I get a little bit more to show you. So anyway, this has been Hitman Randoon, and anyone who's watching, thanks.